Hello, Booktube. This is Aaron from Aaron Read a Book or Aaron Read a Book. I'm back on my microphone today, so hopefully my sound's better than it has been in the last couple of videos. I've got a tag today. I've just been tagged by Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading, and she has weaponized Melinda at a Web of Stories as annoying things that annoy her about the bookish world video, which is brilliant, and you should go watch it if you haven't watched it. And this is the annoying tag, and Kelly's sort of turned all of Melinda's gripes into questions, which is fun. I agree with almost all of them, so let's go through them. Number one, do publishers ever do things that you find annoying? Share an example. I don't get too annoyed by anything publishers do because I tend not to buy new books anyway. So most of the things I get are secondhand, and if I'm buying a series, I don't specifically look for the correct published one. So I often buy off of World of Books and things. So often it won't be the one that's in the picture anyway. But I am annoyed by sort of the normal things like the stupid stickers they put on them now, and I also, when a new release comes out and it's only in hardback for the first 6 months or so, and it's ridiculously priced. So that's one of the main reasons why I don't buy new books, is because the ridiculous price of hardbacks. 2, have you ever been annoyed by a spoiler, even something as simple as someone else telling you there's a great twist? I think I'm more annoyed by spoilers than most people. I hate spoilers. I often avoid the back of the book before I start reading it, and I never read the introductions anymore because I've just been burnt too many times by them. I find that I can't think of a specific example, but I remember in a Penguin one about a year ago, the intro spoiler, and I just, it's so stupid. I also hate it in TV as well, and one really annoying thing that happened to me recently is I was watching The Traitors, which is sort of a trashy reality TV show in the UK and Australia and other places, and I was reading the episode. I was behind a few weeks, so I was reading what people were thinking on the episode reviews on Reddit, and someone had gone back into an old episode and put a spoiler that happens later on in it, which made me get so angry. Like, it's The Traitors, it's trashy TV that has loads of twists in it. You don't go and spoil it for people. So avoid the internet as well. So so I hate spoilers. Have you ever been annoyed by what's discovered in a little free library, a book sale, or a used bookstore? Tell us what you found of what's so annoying. My little free library and secondhand bookshop experiences are far less dramatic than Kelly's. I think she's always sort of getting in arguments with secondhand book store owners and some people stealing all her little free library books. I can't think of anything. There's not very many little free libraries in the UK that I know of. There's one in the train station now that I get to work, but I've never actually used it because I feel like I've got so many unread books. It would be absurd of me to go taking books from people that are just about to jump on a train. It is weird that it completely clears out some days, so I suspect there are people taking too many and stuff as well, but I've never witnessed it. I guess the other annoying thing is when you're at like a book sale or something and the eBay people are there, that they are annoying, who just buy in bulk and then resell it. But I very rarely see that either. Next question. When it comes to short story collections, are you annoyed if there's a novella in the middle of the collection? I don't read many short story collections, and when I do, they tend to be science fiction, and I don't think it's as common in science fiction to have a novella in there. Maybe it is. I don't. I just don't come across it very often. But I would prefer if it was at the end or the beginning, so you could skip it, or you may have already read it. Yeah, if it's in the middle, that would be annoying. But I guess it's not that big a deal, and I don't come across it very often. Deckled edges, beautiful or annoying? I disagree with Melinda here. I think they're beautiful. Look at them. I love the look at the look of them, and the feel of them, and the taste. No, not really. Yeah, I would deckle my house. I'd deckle my house if I could. If it was possible, I'd have deckled walls. Um, Other people's annotations in a used book or library book annoying, or are you okay with it? I kind of like it unless it's spoilers. It's like a little message from the past. I love finding letters and things in books as well. Uh, I was recently reading The Day of the Triffids, and that was my big brother's copy, and he had written rude words all through it, which was, I wish I say was annoying, but I just found it very juvenile and funny. And he also ripped the last page out, which is annoying, and don't do that. If there's a series or collection of certain kinds of books, like an imprint, and changes are made, are you annoyed or okay with it? Again, I don't really buy new books very often, so I would find it annoying if they changed the size in a series, or if for some reason they were doing some sort of pattern on the edges and it didn't link up, which I have seen on other people's channels, but it doesn't really affect me because I just buy random editions. Do the decisions of characters in a novel ever annoy you? Share the book and what decisions you found annoying. This is one that annoys me all the time as well. Even in a book I really liked, like The Small House at Allington, I read a couple of weeks ago, that Lily, the sort of main character or the main driving force in the novel, her decisions constantly annoyed me, but everyone in that novel's decisions were quite annoying at times. But the characterization was so well done; it didn't matter to me. It was part of what made the novel really good. Like the character doesn't have to do what you think is the right thing to do, but it can still annoy you. But there are also books when the book is bad. It is annoying when they do that. Like the worst example of this that I can think of is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, where the character makes an absolutely ridiculous decision. Also, The Poppy War by what's her name? R.L. Kwang, something like that. The one who did Yellowface and stuff. Her first novel, The Poppy War, every single character in that was an idiot and made stupid decisions, even though they're all meant to be geniuses. Question 9. Are you ever annoyed at how someone organises their books? What do you find annoying? I don't get annoyed about how other people organise their books, but I am annoyed at how I organise my books. Because as you can see, it is chaos in here. I have like a section for black spine penguins, but I actually have now several sections for those, and orange spine penguins. I also have a little sort of, I don't know, their classic sci-fi sort of section. So if I ever need a black spine penguin or a classic sci-fi, I'm okay. But generally, I can't find anything in here. I think I've got such a lack of space and bookcases that I can't really do a proper organisation anyway. I mean, I could, but it would be a nightmare. But yeah, I just have to try and remember where I put things, which is not very successful. I bought Love in a Cold Climate like 3 months ago, or maybe 6 months ago, and I have no idea where that is. I can't find it, and I've just read the first book in the series, so I really want to read it now. I can't find it. Share something bookish that you find annoying. I've got I've got a whole list here. Lack of editing, especially in modern literary fiction novels these days. Actually, in all genre fiction as well these days. I don't know how people get things through editors. These like why is this often like 200 pages you don't need in a book? And I like long books, but I think this is in my head now because I'm reading a book that I feel could be like 200 pages less. It's too repetitive, and I don't know why editors wouldn't spot that. If I can spot it, and I am not an expert at all, or a critic in any way, when a book has a really good concept but ruins it, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, great concept, terrible execution. Or it's not even the execution; it's the lack of ambition sometimes. The Time Traveler's Wife is another great example of this, where you've got time travel in your novel and you do nothing with it. It's basically just a plot device. They live their lives as if they weren't a time traveler and stuff. That really annoys me. Yeah, you see it mostly in science fiction books that are like popular sci-fi, or books that are sci-fi that go into the more general sphere of readers. They're just got stupid. They've stolen good concepts from previous decent sci-fi novels and then made young adult romances out of them or something. Another one that really annoys me is like really not privileged characters, but when you can tell the writer has lived a life of privilege, so none of their characters have jobs or stuff and stuff. It's like in Friends where they all live in these amazing apartments and spend all day in the cafe. Like, why aren't you poor? why have you not got a job? Uh, and and that seems to happen a lot in more modern novels as well. Like it's not a factor in older novels normally because they're written by like the aristocracy and they're about the aristocracy. But when it's just normal people, like Burnt Sugar, that one that was nominated for the Booker Prize, like the person was like a poor Indian person and they never had a job and they were just like an arty layabout. I don't understand why are you not dying of starvation? Um, Another one is when all the characters speak like modern day teenagers, even if it's a historical fiction or science fiction or fantasy. And this is another one that modern writers tend to do more. I think probably older writers did as well. It's just they fall through the cracks of time, and you don't read these books. And again, the Poppy War is like meant to be in the past and in China and stuff, but they all just every single character sounds exactly the same, even if they're like an old ancient man or an actual teenager. They all sound like a 19-year-old girl because the author was a 19-year-old girl when she wrote it. And you can kind of get away with it sometimes. Like if the book's really good, even if it's historical fiction, even like if historical fictions were all accurate, we wouldn't understand what they were saying anyway because it would be like Middle English or whatever. But at least make an effort so it doesn't sound like a teenager or just a completely modern day person. Right, that's the tag. That's the tag. Yeah, it's a good tag because lets you get annoyed at things. Uh, Number 11 is just tag other people, and I'm going to tag L from L Thinks books because she had a good sort of rant video recently about what's it called? About Northern Lights, whatever it's called in America, the Golden Compass or whatever it's called. A book that I love, but her rant was very good. Will Chambers, I love Will when Will gets angry at books. I think he has problems with the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue as well. And I'm also going to tag Ali from Gentle Black Hole. He's a new booktuber who you should all go check out, especially if you like the same kind of books as I do, and he's very funny as well. Have a good one, Booktube.